What's up, everyone? I'm Jamie.
And I'm Eddie Rocker.
And we are the co-founders of Kut Different, Inc. Kut Different is an organization basically built on putting positive role models in these young men's life. We strive on giving game, guidance, attention, motivation, and education. This was a big a gap that we see that was needed in the community, in the school systems, and we feel like we know we can't fill that void. So that's really what our organization is about. And more to come, more videos. We definitely will be making videos and presenting and going in more detail about what we are, who we are, and what we do. So today, we've been thinking a lot, and we know we have information that that we want to give out to the masses. There's a lot of things that we went through, a lot of experiences that we have between the both of us. With going off to school, going to college, and we know the things that we experience and the things that we learned that we can give back, and we can shine light on other young men and make their experiences more easier, for lack of better words. All right, so today we want to talk about mindset. So we think everything starts with your mindset. Anything you want to do, you have to have the right mindset, a positive mindset about what you're trying to do. So I'm gonna ask you, Eddie, when we think of mindset, define mindset for me in your own words.
For me, the mindset is basically having the ability to tell yourself that you can do the things that you want to do. So have the tenacity to do the things that you tell yourself that you want to do, and being able to do the things that you may doubt yourself on, or things that others may doubt you on, still being able to have that mindset to tell yourself that it could be done.
Okay. So I looked up some definitions of mindset, and I just want to read over. You heard what Eddie said, but so listen to this. Mindset, the established set of attitudes held by someone, a set of assumptions, methods of notations held by one or more people or group of people. A mindset can also be seen as a rising out of a person's worldview or philosophy of life. A mindset, a fixed state of mind. And this is my favorite one. Your mindset is your collection of thoughts and beliefs that shape your thought habits. And your thought habits affect how you think, what you feel, and what you do. Your mindset impacts how you make sense of the world and how you make sense of you. So let me repeat that. Your mindset impacts how you make sense of the world and how you make sense of you. Okay, so Eddie, with that being said, explain, or what do you think about that? So that last statement right there, what do you think about your mindset impacts what you make sense of the world and what you make sense of you?
It's giving you the range to see how you view the world. How you view the world, and how do you the things that you're able to obtain and overcome with the things that the world gives you, and how you make sense of it. Well, how do you make sense? How you make sense of you is, again, just how you take those things that the world is given, and making it work in the benefits for yourself.
Okay, so and with that being said, I meant to say this earlier. Like what we're doing right now, we have no layout for it. There's no foundation to what we're doing. We just knew we had the information. And we think a problem with a lot of people is they try to wait for the right time. They always second guess the things they're doing, and that's a setback. You always wait. So with this information we had, we was like, let's just get on the video and record. And whatever comes out of this it's not a podcast. It's not an interview. We don't even know what this is, but we'll figure that out over time, because we're going to keep putting out this information. One thing that I tell Eddie is with the information we have to think of it as like playing the lottery. Like if you go play the lottery, or you go buy a lottery ticket, it doesn't mean you're going to win the lottery, but if you keep buying more and more tickets, that increases your chance of winning. It still doesn't mean you're going to win, but it increases your chances. And with us giving this information, what we're thinking is that it's going to increase the chances of the young man in the communities and all the areas. Anyone that receives this message, that it's going to increase their chances of seeing or changing their mindset or leading them in a path, to success. So back to mindset. Okay, so I have a little quote here. So your ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do, and attitudes determine how well you do it. That's from Lou Holtz, a football coach. So then again, so the mindset. So with what Eddie just said, you have to have a positive mindset. There's two sets of mindset. You can have a fixed mindset, or you can have a growth mindset. So, Eddie, do you know the difference between a fixed and a growth mindset?
Yeah. A fixed mindset is what your beliefs are, what you grew up on, and the growth mindset are the things that you grow on, the way your mindset grows over time, the things that you want to learn, in order to better the outcome.
Okay, so with let's get some real life examples. Okay, so we're talking about mindset, and so if you're trying to explain to a young man how the changing of his mindset can help him grow, can you give us a real life example of when mindset, or you changing the mindset when you've seen it help you in some sort or help someone else?
As far as the being fixed, or
being have a growth mindset, or when did you see a positive mindset and how did that help someone?
I guess an example would be with me going to college. My first 2 years, freshman and sophomore year, I was unsure of what I really wanted to go to school to do besides play football. I knew that, but going into my junior year, when they told me that I had to declare a major, I was unsure of the things that needed to take place in order to lead me on that path of success. And so I went from being unsure about the things that I wanted to do until actually knowing that I had to make that decision on which way, if I wanted to grow as a person, I had to change my mindset on the way I view college, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I knew I wanted to obtain a degree. So it went from being fixed, just going to school as far as playing sports, to the growth mindset, knowing that I had to grow in some area within my personal abilities to obtain that degree. So that meant from just going to school to play football to actually now taking classes serious, taking study hall serious in order to obtain that degree.
So and with that being said, and it's crazy because you hear a lot, even communicate with some of the young men we already dealt with. A fixed mindset is almost like a illness or something, because it's a bad habit, because you continuously blame genetics or whatever that is, your situation, you blame it on, you just put it up like it is what it is, or I'm this way because the thing I inherit, you know what I mean? My dad was this way, so I'm this way. You know what I mean? It's just basically a pile of excuses. And with the growth mindset, you don't look at those things to determine what you do. You know that you can develop your mind. Your mind is one of the most powerful, maybe the most powerful thing you have. You know what I mean? Just a little example for myself, like with mindset, going back to like I work out like daily. But when I'm doing certain things, I always train my mind. If I'm going out, say if I'm running, I'm saying I'm gonna do 5 laps. In my head, I know I'm gonna do those 5 laps, but every time I always go further than what I'm doing. That's just increasing your mindset, and that's just a way, just an example of how you can strengthen your mind, or do little things to not just get comfortable, or just to go over beyond. I remember back in school, I played at Temple University. Everything we did, we had to finish extra 5 yards, and this was just a thing that we knew. You know what I mean? The coaches didn't have to explain this to us, but if we were running 20 yard sprints, we went 25 yards every time. It was always finishing, because you got to think about it in your mind. If you're finishing at 20 yards, that means you're slowing down. But if you finish at 25 yards, you're sprinting through at 20 yards. You know what I mean? So it's just, you have to do small things to always just keep your mind and challenging yourself. That's basically what you're doing. You're challenging your mind, challenge yourself to grow.
Another before you go on, bro. Another fixed mindset is, as at a young age, and I think a lot of us fall victim to it, is, and for myself, I can speak for myself personally, is growing up saying that I had a bad attitude. So at a young age, I was quick to get mad. But again, the growth part, the growth mindset that took place was, continuing on with that bad attitude and acting out in public was going to end me up in a situation that I didn't want to be in. I'm pretty sure nobody else wants to be in. Right. So it's just that again, switching from that fixed mindset, thinking that's just who I am, that's just the way I was raised, that's who I've always been, to now I have to change over to, thinking more rationally. I can't make those decisions based off instincts. I actually got to think about, the outcomes of the situations.
Right. But that's good. So let's stay right there. So, okay, with the bad attitudes, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out here that deal with, attitude, or having a bad attitude, or trying to fix that. So with with Eddie, I know Eddie did have a bad attitude, like us growing up. Like it was always, Eddie was hot tempered, and everyone knew that. So what was the difference? Or so at that time, what do you think it was that in that time, why was your I guess your attitude, how did that control you? You know what I mean? So how from the way you are now, you're being able to communicate this now, and back then, what was it then that you weren't able to notice what you notice now?
I really just didn't care about what anybody had to say. I was fixed on knowing that I had a bad attitude, and anybody that came in contact with me knew. I felt as if anybody that came in contact with me knew I had a bad attitude as well. So they should know not to bother me or should not, should not mess with me in that manner to make me react.
Yeah.
But now, the more I got, the older I got, the more I matured. I just realized, I can't give people that ability to get me out of character or make me react in such a manner to end me up in jail or to lose things that I work hard to get.
And so with that being said, and now I tell Eddie this, and we communicated this before. One thing about the mindset and me personally, I always like to have control over every situation. Like I like to feel like I'm in control. So when it comes to with attitudes, things like that, when people or you have people in your life that may, that get on your nerves or whatever that is, you just always have to be in control. You can't let anyone get under your skin. You have to be the bigger person in each scenario. So all with the mind, and this is mindset. If you're going in a situation, this person cannot get me upset. There's nothing you can do to take me out of my inner peace. I'm going to give out love. I'm going to give out peace. This is a situation. I know back when we were in the school, we were at a school and we were dealing with these kids and we were just talking to them and communicating. And it's crazy. Kids are very brilliant, and we were just talking about their actions. They were the ones we were communicating with. They just had gotten in trouble. And once we asked them, why did you do this? They were able to communicate to us, right? Right. They were able to communicate us why they did it and what they were wrong about. Yeah. And you know what I mean? And you're conscious of what they're doing. So it's basically, and this is our platform in a nutshell. What can we do to change a young man's perspective of being that person that get in trouble to being the respectable young man, letting him know that respect is going to get you a long way. You know what I mean? The perception you put out in the world now at this young age is how people are going to perceive you from elementary, middle school to high school until beyond. You know what I mean? So give me a couple things. So say with the group of young men we were dealing with, and we just want to put this out in the world. So what key things would you tell a young man right now, as far as his mindset? What are 3 things that he can do to change his mindset from a fix to a growth?
From a fix to a growth. First, I will just give a personal example of myself again. I believe, to be able to help somebody or to help one of the guys that we were dealing with, to help them grow, I can give personal experiences to show, how it got me in trouble, and if I continue to do those things, how it would have led me to jail or in a bad situation.
Right.
I would just how I would help them try to understand it is just if you're gonna work hard to make a positive name for yourself in the future, you don't want to create something good for yourself,
right, and
have your mentality or your attitude take everything away from you that you work so hard for.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And in a sense, and it's crazy, a lot of people are young men, you start off playing sports, and sports is a great educator when it comes to just key principles for life, from teamwork, accountability, perseverance, what else you got? Adversity, overcoming adversity. One of the biggest things right now, we're in the midst of battling with the COVID-19, and it's like, it's another thing, mindset. Here we go right here. COVID-19. How do you look at COVID-19? A lot of people right now, they look at this as a terrible, which is, it's not a great time, but how do you look at things? You know what I mean? Where your energy goes, your focus goes, your energy flows. So it's like, how do you look at these things? So it's COVID-19. You can either approach this with a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. You know what I mean? It's happening. So one thing we know, this is happening. So what can we do to make it better? And even for myself, I'm gonna speak in this period of time, it was able to slow things down for me. I'm able to look at the good in this situation. It was able to slow things down for me. I was able to focus on the things that I was doing and put more time and energy into the things I was doing. So even with that, so tell me just, I guess, amidst COVID-19 and the mindset that you took approaching this situation. Because if you get on, when you're on social media, everybody, 2020 is over 2020, 2021 me or whatever. It's a lot of memes going around.
Right.
So in this situation, and we're talking about mindset again, and this is another prime example that you can get. What mindset did you approach this COVID-19 with?
Okay, so on a personal mindset, something that I was thinking about was just in the fact of being able to strategize on the ways that I can save more or invest more. That was something where, you know, I guess I was doing it at one point, but I never actually sat down to actually think about it rationally and just trying to see, you know, if I save this amount of money, where could that money go in order to make positive investments? Right. So that would be something that was a personal thing. But again, I mean, you know, with Kut Different, it was just something where it seemed like, you know, we use this time, like my brother said, we use this time in a sense just to sit back, take it for what it was, right, but to build off of it, to actually break it down into the things that we can. How could we better cut different in a time like this? So we just use that, you know. For us, 2020 is like, well, I seen somebody compare 2020 with COVID-19 to coleslaw. Nah, this is like macaroni and cheese and fried chicken that my mom cooked. Yeah. I think again, this is definitely a bad time for everybody. Well, but I definitely think that, again, if you use your mindset, adjust it, you know, I think you could make this 2020 pandemic, 2020 pandemic into something prosperous.
Because your mindset plays a critical role in how you cope with life challenges, you know what I mean? How you overcome things. Adversity, you know what I mean? What are you telling yourself during these times? You know what I mean? So COVID-19, if I'm approaching this like, man, you know, I'm stuck in the house, you know what I mean? I don't have nothing to do, or I'm bored, or I'm trying to get out you know what I mean? You're just continuously feeding yourself with negative thoughts. So why can't it be, well, man, I got this time on my hand, you know, why won't I call a family member? You know what I mean? Why won't I check on my cousin? Why won't I check on my brother? Make sure my grandmother's good. Or, you know, why won't I get on this homework that I have that's been struggling with me? I have more time. Let me focus on this. Let me get on the internet and search things. Let me, whatever it is, it's just a lot of things you can do. You can find a craft. You can learn a craft.
Create this business.
Create content.
This LLC. Let me put the time and effort to think about the ways that I need to build up this business, that if I put the time and energy into thinking on it, with the mindset, thinking about the things that could be prosperous off of it, you could also create that LLC as well.
And just speaking from ourselves, like, we're giving you information from ourselves that we're actually doing. Like in the midst of COVID-19, like, we were able to think and come up with so much content, even with this right here. Like, this came off a conversation me and Eddie were having, and it was like, man, what can we do to be able to give you voices? And even with this information that we've given, you'll be able to listen to us and give feedback. We want to get, you know, the viewers' feedback and be able to give out more information and more. Like I told you in the beginning, we didn't know what this was like, how this would be. What would we get out of it? We don't know a name for it. We don't even care about that. We just knew we had things to talk about and put that information out there. So again, it's your mindset. And so basically, give me something else about another example, because one thing we want to be as transparent as we can in everything we do. We want to give you a piece of our life, because one thing about I guess when you have people on YouTube putting out information on different topics, it's a person that has reached the level of success that, you know what I mean, they're at this level and they're not talking down, but you're listening to that person because you're trying to get to where they're at. This information that we're giving you, our company just started, you know, here this year. So we want you to grow and build with us. We're giving this information to be transparent and show you what we're going through now, and you'll see our growth. You know what I mean? So we want you to view us and let's grow together. You know, the viewers let's grow together. Let's get this information and let's help each other out. Let's, you know what I mean, provide feedback to us and help us better, you know, give out more information that you think will be, you know, better for the viewers. So, Eddie, again, so with the mindset, find another example for me when your mindset just played a critical role in your life.
Another one.
Think of one.
You can use it as in football. College. I can't think of what year it was, but I just remember, if you see me in person, I'm not that big. I'm what, 5'8",
5'6".
5, yeah, I'm sorry. 5'8", 175. But, you know, playing college ball, you know, there were other running backs way bigger than I was, and but I never let that turn me away from being the best running back that I could be at Florida A&M. Right. My mindset in my head, I was 200 pounds, 5'10", 200 pounds. So when your work ethic at that point in time you would have to outwork me, and I would not allow anybody to outwork me on the field in order to play. And I mean, it was just a blessing from God that as a freshman, you know, due to whatever circumstances anybody may tell you, I still was able to play as a true freshman. And again, that just goes back to my mindset. Whenever I left, a lot of people think that I had a football scholarship leaving high school going into college. I was a preferred walk-on, which meant that I didn't have a college scholarship leading into college, but however, I still got there, and I did the work that I needed to do. Again, back to my mentality, back to the mindset of knowing that I can work as hard as I needed to work in order to get to the position, to the scholarship where I wanted to be at.
So what was your mindset in that though? So going as a preferred walk-on, I'm pretty sure. So thinking of a span between your 4 years at FAMU, when you first got there as preferred walk-on, I'm pretty sure your motivation was all-time high, and I'm pretty sure between those 4 years, that wasn't so the case. I know it was times you probably wanted to give up or whatever that was. So talk that through. So what was the difference from the beginning being this preferred walk-on, this kid coming from Ocala, Florida, thinking, my mindset is, you have a growth mindset at that point, I'm pretty sure. But I'm pretty sure between that time, it was a moment or something that got you down. So talk more about that and talk how you got through that.